The boundary of the face, which is started superiorly from the hairline and inferiorly up to the chin, and in the lateral side up to the auricle. Then at first the skin, then the superficial fascia, and then the deep fascia. The skin of the face is thick and it is elastic, and the skin is highly vascular. Skin also rich in the sebaceous gland and the sweat gland. Then the superficial fascia. The superficial fascia of the face contains the muscles, vessels and nerves. There is also the fat in the superficial fascia. Okay, then the deep fascia. The deep fascia is absent in the face except the parotid gland. Then there are some natural orifices in the face: the eyes, the nose and the mouth. The facial muscle regulate the opening or closing of the natural orifices like eyes, nose and the mouth, and this is the primary function of the facial muscle. To provide the primary function of the facial muscle, there are some facial expression which is the side effect of the primary function of the facial muscles. Then the facial muscles. The muscles which protect or regulate the natural orifices, the circumorbital muscle or the muscle regulate the eyes, they are the orbicularis oculi muscle, the corrugator supercilii muscle, the occipitofrontalis muscle and the levator palpebris superioris muscle. The orbicularis oculis. The orbicularis oculis muscle consists of three parts. The orbital part, this part is the orbital part. Near the palpebral opening, this part is the palpebral part, and near the lacrimal sac, this part is the lacrimal part. The orbital part arises from the medial palpebral ligament, the adjoining frontal or the maxilla bone. Then the muscle fiber goes laterally and the muscle fiber arranged elliptically. Then the palpebral part. The palpebral part of this muscle arises from the medial palpebral ligament. Then this fiber goes to the laterally over the tarsal plate and inserted laterally up to the lateral palpebral raphe. Then the lacrimal part. The lacrimal part of this muscle lies behind the lacrimal sac, and this part of this muscle arises from the crest of the lacrimal bone and the fascia covering the lacrimal bone. Then this fiber goes to the laterally up to the lateral palpebral raphe. The function of the orbicularis oculi muscle. The orbicularis oculi muscle acts as the sphincter of the eye and protect the eye from the intense sunlight or the external injury. The palpebral part of this muscle closes the eye gently during the sleeping or the blinking, and this function of this muscle is the reflexly oriented or the voluntarily mediated. The lacrimal part of this muscle, the lacrimal part helps in the dilate of the lacrimal sac and helps the transport of the lacrimal fluid. Then the other muscle is the corrugator supercilii muscle. This muscle is the corrugator supercilii. The corrugator supercilii muscle arises from the medial end of the superciliary arch of the frontal bone. Then this muscle goes upward and laterally, and this muscle inserted in the subcutaneous tissue of the eyebrows. The corrugator supercilii muscle drags the eyebrows to the downward and medially and forms the vertical wrinkles. During the frowning, this muscle shows the sign of the annoyance. Then the other muscle is the occipitofrontalis muscle. The frontalis muscle drags the eyebrow towards the upward and forms the transverse wrinkle, which shows the sign of the surprise, horror or the fright. Okay, then the muscle of the nose. The muscle of the nose, at first the procerus, then the nasalis, and then the depressor septi. The procerus muscle arises from the fascia covering the nasal bone. Then this muscle goes upward and the muscle inserted in the skin between the two eyebrows. When the muscle contracts, there is the transverse wrinkle in the bridge of the nose. Then the muscle nasalis. There are two parts for the nasalis muscle, the transverse part and the alar part. The transverse part also called the compressor nares and the alar part is called the dilator nares. The transverse part arises from the maxilla bone near the notch of the nose, and then the muscle goes upward and medially and form a aponeurosis and continues with the muscle of the other side. And this part of this muscle helps in the compress of the nose. So this part is called the compression nares. Then the alar part. The muscle arises from the maxilla and goes inserted up to the alar part of the nose. This muscle is called the dilator nares because this muscle helps the dilate of the nose. And when the muscle dilates the nose, the muscle helps to show the sign of the anger. The another muscle is the depressor septi. The muscle arises from the incisive fossa of the maxilla, then the muscle inserted to the mobile part of the nasal septum. This muscle also helps in the dilatation of the nose. This muscle helps the dilate of the nose. Then the other muscle of the mouth. The sphincter of the mouth is the orbicularis oris muscle. This fiber is the orbicularis oris muscle, which also acts as the sphincter of the mouth. And the other muscle which radiates to the mouth to the other side, this muscle also helps the dilate of the mouth. The muscles are which attached up to the upper lip. The muscles are the levator labii superioris alachnesi, the levator labii superioris, and the zygomatus minor. The muscle which are attached to the upper lip, the muscles are the levator labii superioris alachnesi, the levator labii superioris, and the zygomaticus minor. Then the muscle which attached to the lower lip is the depressor labii inferioris. This muscle is the depressor labii inferioris. Then the rest of the muscle, they are attached to the angle of the mouth, and lateral to the angle of the mouth there is a palpable mass. This mass is called the modulus. These muscle which are attached to the angle of the mouth, they are the levator anguli oris, the zygomaticus major, then the buccinator, the rhizorius, the depressor anguli oris. Okay. The muscle, the levator labii superioris alachnesi, this muscle arises from the maxilla bone. Then there are two slip of this muscle. One slip of this muscle attached to the nose and the other slip attached to the upper lip. This muscle helps elevate or evert the upper lip, also dilate the nose. Then the muscle levator labii superioris. This muscle arises from the lower margin of the orbit, upper the inferior orbital foramen. Then this muscle descend downward up to the upper lip. This muscle also help elevate or evert the upper lip, and this muscle increase the nasolabial fold. Then the muscle, the zygomaticus minor. The zygomaticus minor muscle arises from the zygomatic arch, then up to the upper lip. This muscle also help elevate or evert the upper lip and increase the nasolabial fold. Okay, then the muscle, the depressor labii inferioris. This muscle arises from the oblique line of the mandible and the muscle inserted up to the lower lip. This muscle helps depress the lower lip. Then the muscle which are inserted to the angle of the mouth. The muscle, the levator anguli oris. The levator anguli oris muscle arises from the maxilla and below the infraorbital foramen. Then this muscle attached to the angle of the mouth. The levator anguli oris muscle, the levator labii superioris muscle, and the zygomaticus minor. These three muscles increase the nasolabial furrow, and this muscle helps to express the sadness. Then the zygomaticus major muscle. The zygomaticus major muscle arises from the zygomatous bone, and then this muscle inserted to the angle of the mouth. The muscle helps the angle of the mouth toward the upward and laterally, and the muscle express the sign of the laughing. Then the muscle, the buccinator. The buccinator muscle arises from the alveolar process of the maxilla and mandible. This muscle is the buccinator. This muscle is the buccinator. Arises from the alveolar process of the maxilla and mandible. Then this muscle inserted to the angle of the mouth. The buccinator muscle covers with a areolar membrane, and this membrane is called the buccopharyngeal fascia. The structure which pierces the buccinator muscle is the parotid duct, then the buccal branch of the mandible nerve, and the molar glands. Then the muscle, the depressor anguli oris. The depressor anguli oris muscle arises from the mandible. Then this muscle goes to the upward and up to the angle of the mouth. Then the muscle rhizorius. The rhizorius muscle arises from the fascia of the parotid gland. Then this muscle goes up to the angle of the mouth. Then the function of the buccinator muscle. The buccinator muscle helps to flatten the cheek over the gum and the teeth, and this muscle also prevent the accumulation of the food interior of the oral cavity. Then the buccinator muscle also helps in the expel of the wine from the mouth. The buccinator muscle also helps to expel the air from the mouth. Then the muscle, the rhizorius. The rhizorius muscle also helps to draws the angle of the mouth, and this muscle also help the express the sign of the grinding. বন্ধ করে দিন।